So after you apply a smart filter to a layer, it's so easy to modify, and this is the beauty of smart filters. With regular filters, once you apply a setting, the only way to change it is to undo it. And if you need to undo the step from 2 steps ago, but not the last one, you're kind of out of luck. Here's the beauty of smart filters, is that I can take any of my filters that I've applied to the image, and if I double click it, it brings it up and I can change those settings. So here's my image again, and I can just sort of modify the radius down. I'm changing the settings of the filter that I already applied to my layer. Impossible to do this if you don't use smart filters. And remember, a smart filter is just a regular filter on a smart layer. So there's no difference. It's exactly the same thing. There's no harm ever in creating a smart object. A couple options aren't available to you, but unless you know for a fact you need them, go ahead and keep it as a smart layer. So modifying those settings is very simple, and I am going to crank it back up just a little bit. I want it to look, I like how I'm getting this effect of it looking almost like frosted glass, like there's condensation and I'm looking through a window that's got condensation on it. I just sort of like that look. And what I want to do is also play around with the blending mode of the actual smart filter. And you can see that I get this new icon over here. If I double click this, look at that. I can change the way that the smart filter blends with the image. So I can change the opacity down, and I can see that it kind of like diminishes the effect some. But sometimes you get really cool effects when you change the blending mode. And on the PC, again, one of the advantages of the interface is that it allows you to just click through them. So I just click on one setting and then I'm just using the arrow keys. On the Mac, I don't believe this works, but you can just choose it and choose the next one down. And just look at the options, look at how each one affects your image. Now I'm not sure that any of these are something that I'm really going to like, but it's always fun to just sort of explore and play around a little bit. And I wanted to make sure that you were aware that's actually a really cool look. Not for this image, but there may be cool ways to use that effect. So I'm just paying attention to how it changes the way that my image looks. And I'm doing it visually. I'm not paying attention to the names over here. I don't care what the name is. What I care about is how it makes my image look. Does it add something really creative to my image? And I'm not seeing anything super cool. I sort of like this lumosity. Let me go to the top again to normal. I think I still prefer the normal mode though. I just really like how it looks, sort of like I'm looking through frosted glass. So I'm going to tell it okay, but I wanted you to know, even though I didn't make any changes that we're going to use, I wanted you to know that you can change the blending mode of just a very specific smart filter. So I click OK. And another cool trick, and here's where we're going to get to the effect that I really wanted to try, is remember when we looked online and we had this image here with this girl that just popping on Abdazito, getting some ideas, and I saw this and thought, how cool this looks. I really like this line here that looks like very blurry, and how a lot of these look like it's sort of blurring the image. So I thought, what if I put a blur on, and then I'm going to cut out sections of the blur and just allow it to sort of change like this and have these stripes of the effect. So let's see if we can make that happen in Photoshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the mask for this smart filter. This is another great way to adjust your filters. And what I want you to do is in your toolbar, choose this option, the very top left tool, the rectangular marquee. This allows you to select an area on your image. And then we're also going to hit the D key to get back to our default colors. So I hit D on the keyboard. My colors are already there, so I'm in good shape. All I need to do now is I'm going to just grab a selection. I'm going to just sort of draw a rectangle, draw one of these stripes, and now I'm going to try Alt-Delete. That's Option-Delete on a Mac, and that wasn't it. It must be Control-Delete. See, now I never remember those keys. The main reason I don't remember them is because I switch these colors around a lot too. If I hit X, look at that. The letter X swaps them back and forth. Since I swap these back and forth all the time, I never really pay attention to which one's front or back. I just do Alt-Delete, and if that doesn't work, I do Control-Delete. And on the Mac, that's Option and Command. So I just kind of swap back and forth, And I'm going to begin to just take out sections in these stripes. So I'm going to have these like striped blurs on the image and see if I like the way that it looks. And so far, I'm liking it. What if I do some real skinny ones? I'm kind of liking this. This is looking pretty cool. Right, so a really cool trick that I never tried before. And I'm just selecting rectangles, random rectangles, and sort of try and Alt-Delete or Control-Delete to just sort of see if I like it filled or not filled. To get rid of these marching ants, I just do Control-D. Gets rid of them. And I kind of like that. I don't like how it's covering up his face here. See how it's covering both of the eyes? That's really distracting. I've got these two sections covered that I really want revealed. What if I just flipped it inside out? A cool way to work with masks, trick that you should know, is that I can go to Image, Adjustments, Invert, and that's going to flip everywhere that's black. It'll make it white, and white turns black. And boy, I don't like that either because it's sort of covering his nose. So I can just invert it back because I did like it better before. And you see how that's just basically turning my mask inside out. It's revealing what was hidden and hiding what was revealed before. But I think I just need to adjust these a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of stretch this one out a little bit more. And that's not it. Control-Alt. It's Alt-Delete. And I made these just open this whole place. And then let me try just some sections here. And I want to make it not go over his eye. So I'm just sort of playing a little bit and seeing what happens. What if I do a skinny one here right down the middle? And Control-D. And you know, it's kind of a cool look. I think it needs a little bit more experimentation. I might play with it just a little bit. Oh, I don't want to go over the eye, so I'm just not even going to do that one. But I just want to sort of experiment. I did like it when I had some real skinny ones. So I'm just going to go in. And again, it's just a matter of sort of experimenting and playing. It's so skinny I can't even tell if it's... Yep, I cut it out. I sort of like the look here. I think it's pretty neat. Let me do another real skinny line here. You know, it's kind of a cool look. So I could just play with this and just feel free to explore. What if you did a couple sideways? Will that change things in a cool way? Oh, you know, it bugged me about his eyes. What if I just delete that out? No, I don't like that at all. And that's the beauty of undo. Control-Alt-Z and keep going back until it's right back to where I wanted. And then Control-D. And you know, I'm happy with the way this looks, and we learned a really cool trick. So feel free to experiment a little bit, explore, and play around with these options.